If you have 10 minutes, I'm going to show how you can recreate this in Photoshop. The first thing you're going to want to do is load the first picture of your player onto the canvas. And I usually like to add a camera raw filter to the picture just to help whenever I crop the player out. It usually helps it do it better. And to get the camera raw filter, you just go up to filter and then camera raw filter. And you can slow it down right here if you want to see the exact settings that I'm doing. But I usually just like to increase the texture, the clarity, and usually the exposure. And then to crop the player out, you're going to go over to the selection tool, and you can either just click select subject, and it'll usually do a pretty good job of selecting the player that you want or the main part of the graphic that you want or picture. But I like to also draw like a little square or rectangle over it. But as you can see right here, it didn't do a good job at all of cropping the player. So what I'm going to do is go over to the mask of the picture of Shedeur here, and whenever you go over to the mask, now I can erase all of the stuff that was added. And obviously I sped it up here, and you can slow it down or pause it to see exactly what I was doing. But right here I'm just using the brush tool to erase everything that I didn't want added, or everything I didn't want left in to the picture of Shedeur. And then right here, you can slow it down to see exactly how I did it, but you're usually never going to run into this problem. But I just showed how I did it anyway, to where Shedeur's foot was blocked by another player in the graphic. So I grabbed another picture of his foot that would look right. It was like his left foot. So I just grabbed another picture of his left foot that was in another picture, and I put it on to this graphic. And like I said, you can slow it down to see exactly how I did it. But right here, I added a rectangle, and I wanted to, or more of a square actually. And all I did to make the same exact one is Command J. You hold down Command J at the same time. And I can go into more detail on how I made like the edges a little bit curved, but it's really simple. It's really as simple as whenever you click on the rectangle or the square, you'll see 4 little dots in the corners, and you just drag them in, and it'll do that. So they're not like pointy edges. And then the next thing I did was added a skinny rectangle behind the player, and I did that because I wanted to add a few images that like look like they fit inside of the rectangle. So after adding my first picture in, I cropped it out using the selection tool, like I did in the first picture, just to get the player by itself. And then I went ahead and added a picture I got from online of just the Cleveland Browns fans, because I wanted to put that behind Shedeur right here, because I thought it looked good. I thought it looked cool. And I also added a Gaussian blur, which is really easy. You just go up to blur and then click on Gaussian blur, and it'll kind of make it look like almost like a path blur, but it's a little different. I like how it looks. And then I just held down Command J so I can get the same exact picture of the fans. But I took it from I put it at a little bit of a different angle, mainly to try and just make it look a little bit different than the first one. And then right here, I went down to the rectangle tool, and I changed it to the oval shaped option, and I made sure to fill it with black. And I thought there's no specific reason. I just saw somebody else do this in a graphic, and I thought it looked cool. And then once again, you can just hold down Command J to copy the exact same shape. And then after doing that, I went ahead and added a Gaussian blur to all of them. But before doing that, right here, I just added 2 more skinny rectangles in, and I just copied it. You're doing Command J, and then I'll show how I did the Gaussian blur to the ovals here in a second. But before doing that, I added some text in, and I just wanted to add just something that looked a little bit cool and a little bit different. I wanted to add his stats and then something else at the top. So I kind of just brainstormed a little bit and looked around to see what might look cool. And what I did right here was just adding in more of the gray background that I used, and I just Command J it so I can have the background all this kind of like off-white gray. And then I was just changing the color here to the Cleveland Browns orange. And I got the exact color from online on their team website, and the brown that I used right here I got from online as well. It looks kind of black, but it is a dark brown. And I used that right here for the two rectangles or squares on the outside. I went ahead and changed the font size and the color of the really skinny rectangles to orange. And then right here I added in I just looked up drawn circle on Google, and I made sure it was orange or some shade of orange. And I just thought it looked cool to cover where I put he was the best quarterback. I just thought it made it pop a little bit more. And then right here I went ahead and added the first Gaussian blur to this square, and I put them all around 4.1 because I wanted them all to have the same amount of blur. And then right here I was doing the same thing for the little small circles. I was just adding some Gaussian blur to all of them. And then I skipped over it, but I added his name right here. And then I went and added another drawn circle that I got from online. And then right here, I was just adding the shadows that I want to put under his feet. And to do that, as you can see, I just changed the shape of the brush tool, or of the brush, and then the size of it. And then I just mess around with it to try to make it look good. I've noticed in most of the shadows that I think look really good, like on professional graphics and stuff like that, there's never like a specific look to them. They always just, they always seem to be very different. So I just try to play around with it and see what looks best. And then right here, I just added in the Browns logo, the NFL logo, and then Shedeur's signature. And I didn't show how I did it just because you just go to Google and just get that stuff there. And then right here, I just did something a little bit different that I didn't have planned. I just wanted to make it look like there was some like motion behind the ball. So I just added in some small shadows and then added a path blur. And you can slow it down to see exactly how I did that, but it's pretty simple. And I just thought it looked pretty cool. And when you're ready to put the final touches on your graphic, you can hold down Command, Option, Shift, and E at the same time, and it's going to mask all of your layers together. And I just add one final camera raw filter, and you can look at exactly what I put on it here. But it's pretty. It varies between your graphic. Like some graphics look better with more clarity and or sharpening, and it just varies. And after doing that, here's my final graphic. If you made it to the end, thank you for watching, and let me know if you want more videos like this. Thank you.